If you can relate to freshman year of college, like you're in a new place with new people and have no idea who you are, what you care about, or the type of person you want to be. You're just in a really new setting and kind of reconsidering yourself and your identity, or considering your identity for the first time. And I stumbled upon Best Buddies. So I had a girl in the dining hall that tapped me on the shoulder, and she had Down syndrome, and we talked for 5 minutes, and she wanted to know my name and who I was and what I did that summer. And there was something about her. It's like she really wanted to know my name, and she wanted me to know her name. And when you're in that new place with new people, it was just a feeling that I clung on to. And then I saw her picture in a flyer for Best Buddies, and I was like, all right, that felt somewhat serendipitous. And then they show you a video about what it's like to be a Best Buddy. They have a buddy pair speak, and by the end of it, I'm like writing my name in tears, like, yeah, I want a Best Buddy. And then I got matched with my Best Buddy, Brian, on September 26, 2010, as a freshman in college, a month into school. And he's just like the right friend at the right time for me. That he's one of those people that, like, by letting his own light shine, he gives you permission to shine too. And everyone needs people like that in their lives. He makes me think of my mom. It's another one like that she's just so authentic in herself and vulnerable. And here this guy was freshman years. I'm so caught up in myself and what I want to care about and who I am. And he was just so, not even confident, just so comfortable in who he was and in trying to engage with other people. And for me, I just looked at him like a North Star, that I wanted to be more like him. And so we've been Best Buddies for, I guess, over 13 years now. And so I do get super passionate because it is so personal to me. And I also get to see it from the side that more than people with intellectual disabilities benefit, that I've seen how much it's impacted my life. My parents will tell you how much it's impacted us, my friends, my family, the way I've seen it impact my group of friends and my extended family. I think for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities experience loneliness and isolation at really disproportionate rates. Some are for these perceived barriers and stereotypes and biases that we have, and I think others are for really literal barriers. So sometimes isolation in a classroom or from the workforce. And I think it's 85% of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities report facing loneliness on a daily basis. And so we address that really head on by bringing people together with and without disabilities. And I think breaking down some of those barriers and trying to find common ground, while also not only accepting our differences, but truly appreciating them. I think that's the next level, not just understanding and acknowledging that we're different and accepting someone, but really appreciating those differences. And that's like the good stuff. I think what makes us all really special is that we have these differences, and that we get to learn from each other and get to exist together, while also having these things that bind us together about what we want for our lives and how we want to be seen and heard and loved. And we get to make people feel seen and heard and loved. And that's a privilege, and get to do it for people of all ages too. And we have to understand not only hiring someone with a disability is the right thing to do, but by engaging that perspective and having that person in your workforce, that's how you're going to get to the best solutions and have the best team overall. And so really looking at our program as more than just being a good, right thing to do, but being a smart business choice. And I think our Best Buddies Jobs teams does a great job of connecting those dots and helping companies see someone for their abilities and understand the contributions that they can make to their team, and while being there to support some of the challenges that someone might face during training or learning new responsibilities or making those connections with coworkers and their supervisors. And I love that our jobs team gets to be there to kind of triangulate everything. So we get to help prepare our clients in the interview process and writing resumes and prepping for interviews, but also when someone gets a job, we get to be there in trainings and orientation and help bridge those gaps with their team, while also serving the purpose on the employer side and helping them understand their talent that they have, and helping understand that the team, how to work with that person or how to connect and make sure that they're providing the best natural support within the workplace that they can. And so I think that we get to triangulate a lot of these really important relationships to meet a need that benefits everybody. I think that's my favorite part about Best Buddies Jobs, is that it's just kind of a win-win-win. Like there's no it's not a zero-sum game where if one side wins, the other side compromises. I think when integrated employment is done well, not only the person getting the job benefits, but the employer should benefit. They need to benefit if it's going to be a successful partnership and truly have someone add value and respect their dignity. And a lot of parents and caregivers are told what their child is or isn't going to be able to do, and They have these ceilings that are put on them that can often be reinforced like throughout their kids' youth and childhood, and um, at some point that really sticks to you, or you get worried. And I think we shared earlier that 85% of uh, people with intellectual disabilities say that they're lonely or face loneliness. And as a parent, like the person that loves that child the most, you're going to feel that loneliness right alongside them. And so we get to hopefully either mitigate or eliminate that loneliness by bringing people together. I know I have a 1-year-old son, and so this one also is hitting personally too now, that I want like the whole world for him, but probably more than anything, I would want him to be loved. I want him to have the opportunity to love people too, and every parent wants that for their kid. And it's like when we say that 85% of people with intellectual disabilities feel lonely, the parents feel that loneliness right alongside them, and we get to hopefully eliminate that by bringing people together and having outcomes that they didn't think were possible, whether it's being truly loved or seen or heard like we've talked about, or getting a job, or being considered a leader and given speeches, getting to live independently, getting to feel a part of a community or a friend group. We get to provide those outcomes, and so hopefully as parents get to see their children experience those outcomes, hopefully in addition to the children's loneliness or depression being mitigated, you would think the same would go for parents when you reference their anxiety and depression. I think we say our vision at Best Buddies is to put ourselves out of business, so to have people so naturally included, incorporated in their communities that we don't even need to exist. And so I think whether or not someone's formally involved in Best Buddies, they have that kind of internal choice to include people really authentically and naturally. And you don't have to be a formal Best Buddy. If you think you're doing a great job living inclusively already, I think that's valuable as well. And then I think the other big thing is just resources and support. So we're pretty privately funded here in Tennessee, and I referenced the over 5,000 people that we serve, but there are hundreds of thousands of more people that we want to serve. And every year, we raise money to try to not only grow and reach more people, but even just to sustain our existing programs. I think it takes a lot, and I think the tricky part with Best Buddies is there's kind of an aggravating part. It's like I feel like we have a solution. We're not asking for money or having fundraising events trying to find a cure to try to address this loneliness that we talked about. Like 85% of people are facing loneliness or isolation, and it is a super existential, like significant problem. I think the Surgeon General had this incredible report on the impact of loneliness. It is a very real, very challenging issue, and we feel like we have a solution to it. Like we're not just trying to figure out how to address it. We feel like we solved the problem, and I think that's really exciting because we've seen that our programs work. And really for us, it's just like getting the resources to try to bring that solution to more people. And